Boys, welcome back. A lot of technical issues, but here we are. So this is me versus AlphaStar at Blizzcon, game number 1. So, couple of things. This is literally recorded. So I am in the bottom left. You guys see me right there, bottom left of your screen. That's me. I'm literally there playing. And this is like the big screen that there's me. And that's the big screen that my computer was connected to so that people could watch. Or not that they could watch me, but that's how it was set up. Now, because AlphaStar, in order to play against it, it's running on completely different StarCraft II version. There was no replays, and the reason for that is if you try to save the replay and load it in StarCraft II, it literally doesn't recognize it because that version of StarCraft II doesn't exist. Okay? So the only way to record these games was literally taking the phone and recording them. Okay? There was no other way. So I know this is not the perfect setup, but there it is. That's the only thing, not the best thing, that's the only thing we could have done. Okay? So yeah, the quality is off. You can literally see again, it's the screen being recorded with the phone. Shout out to Ajax that recorded all of this. He offered to record, and he also recorded on his phone and then uploaded it on the drive for me so I could, you know, share it with you guys and watch it with you guys. So a couple of things. The first thing you're gonna see that's a little bit weird is I don't have health bars on. So there wasn't a lot of settings I could actually change because again it's a different version of StarCraft II. I could only change hotkeys and mouse sensitivity. Graphics and everything else I could not change, and I could not even change to show the health bars. It's just like the for your units it was like only selected. Now I'm going to be pausing every once in a while and talking about this. So before this game gets any further, I played against AlphaStar 10 games. There were different agents for each race. So there was about 4 or 5, between 3 and 5 agents, which means different AlphaStars for each race, and they all had their own style, different builds, and different MMRs. Now, this is me playing against the Protoss AlphaStar, and I played about, I think it was 10 games, and I won 7-3. So, from my knowledge, I won the most games against AlphaStar by far, compared to all the players that were there and that tried. I also have games that Cyril has played, and I will be going through them as well. I have 5 games, and I think Cyril went 1-4 versus AlphaStar or something like that, maybe like 2-5. I know he got beaten up pretty badly, but I'm going to be going through those games as well, discussing them, and ooh, I just bit my tongue, Jesus. And wow, that didn't happen in a while. And I'll be kind of explaining what happened in his games, what happened in my games, my thought process, and so on. So yeah, Cyril got pretty wrecked. He was actually losing 3-0 initially, and then he managed to win a game. I actually didn't believe people when they told me that he's lost 3 games. So I heard a lot of stories. You know, some people like AlphaStar is unbeatable, it's destroying Cyril. You know, AlphaStar, some people have said AlphaStar is complete shit, it's not playing like human at all, and it kind of failed the whole point of AlphaStar. I disagree with both, and as we go through, you know, you guys will kind of understand my point of view and what I personally think, since, again, I played quite a few games against it as well. So, you will see this is the first game I've played, and obviously I played with not my setup. It was, you know, a random keyboard, random mouse. When I play, I have my full arm on the desk. This was like playing like this. I was super uncomfortable in first game. You guys will see I was misclicking a bunch in this game. I was even clicking the repair ability, as you just saw. So yeah, I was just like playing really bad the first game. I mean, listen, when I lose, when I get wrecked, I get wrecked. But I can tell you 100% certain, if I was playing it, not even on my what's it called, computer or setup, that I wouldn't have lost or won some of the games. But even there, if I just warmed up, because you can't warm up even. There's no options to go against AI. It's just click and you play against AlphaStar. So, yeah, so take that in consideration both when I played against AlphaStar and when Cyril played against AlphaStar. So, my thought process here in the first game is I did this bunker rush after expanding, because this is, I know, something that AlphaStar has probably not played a lot against, and probably, might not have the perfect response to it. So I did the bunker rush, and AlphaStar's been treating it like really weird. It's in a way, it's kind of treating it like super carefully, but also it's treating it like a bunker rush, which it wasn't. So I managed to sneak in some Hellions in the main base. AlphaStar did some good probe pulls. And, I killed some probes, but it wasn't like insane damage. Maybe I killed like 6 probes total together with the Reaper. Now, you can see like my minerals are floating. I couldn't even land factory. And this is the point that I was talking about. It's not, I wasn't warmed up, not my setup. So a lot of mistakes, which you guys will see still. Now, so there were 2 versions of AlphaStar. The one AlphaStar was Diamond, which was the basic AlphaStar that you guys could play at Blizzcon. And there was the advanced one, which is this one, which is, it is Master AlphaStar, Master League, but that's only because apparently they weren't allowed to be Grandmaster because it was an AI. So, one of the Protoss AIs reached 6.3 kMMR, from what I've been told. And the other ones, one of them was like 6.1, the Zerg one was about 6.1, I think, maximum. But again, they didn't play like hundreds of games, they played like 30, 40, 50 games only. So, in my opinion, some of the AIs, some of the AlphaStar agents could have gone much, much higher. So, after I did the Hellion push, my bunker was too late, which is, just me making a mistake. Because I think if I had the bunker, this game, at this point in the game, would go completely different. But AlphaStar did the counterattack because it saw me invest into Hellions and Reaper. Now my Banshee arrives, I saw it has no Robo, so I knew I'm going to get a lot of probes. So I wasn't, too worried that the game's about to be done. But, my defense, it was pretty sloppy. Again, a lot of misclicking, a lot of like derping around. You can see me like selecting a lot of times instead of keybinding stuff and going through them, because I was just kind of like, derping quite a bit. I think the AlphaStar, yeah, it blinks here, gets the Banshee. This Banshee in the main base has 14 kills, popping off super hard, and managed to get some kills, 15 kills. Obviously AlphaStar did quite a bit of damage to my base as well. But, I thought that this position, even though not great, was definitely playable. Now, the unfortunate thing here, I think that happens is, oh yeah, so I lost one of the Banshees, right? The Banshee that was just here defending, because it ran out of cloak and died. And you'll see me make, I think, another, yeah, I make another Banshee, and I literally run it into Stalkers straight away. Which was very unfortunate, because I think if I had that, it would have been obviously way okay, so this is the moment where I thought I might be dead, but AlphaStar kind of derps with the micro quite a bit. It seemed like it wanted to commit, but then it just kind of went back, and I traded way better there. Like, it lost a couple of Stalkers, and I lost maybe 3, 4, 5 Marines. So that was a little bit of a weird moment, because I definitely thought I'm going to lose the game right there. Because it could have blinked one Stalker on the ramp and then blinked on top of my siege tank, but it decided to not do that. So there it is. Now the AlphaStar keeps poking here, which is kind of what you're supposed to do with Stalkers. You guys missed it because I wasn't looking at it, but the Banshee flew into those Stalkers. Oh no, it's about to fly in. Right? Oh no, that's an SCV. Yeah, the Banshee already died. So here I saw the Observer, because AlphaStar tried to blink in my main, clearing up, it has the shield battery, so at this point, the game kind of stabilized. Now, there are, like I said, different agents of AlphaStar. So I didn't know, like, before the game which ones I will be playing. So, for example, in this one, I didn't know which AlphaStar I'm playing against. So I had to scout, I had to react. And they also didn't tell me, you know, there's 4 types of Protoss AlphaStar. One of them does this, one of them does that, one of them does this. I had no idea. You know, I knew after I played all the games, they told me, but before that, you know, I just kind of had to play very, very careful. Now, the one thing I want to say is AlphaStar, the one thing that it does way better than human players is it expands so much faster than human players. And I've noticed this with all 3 races. Well, not Terran so much, but Zerg and Protoss. I feel like it expands so efficiently and so fast. But at the same time, they always have a lot of units as well. I found that probably the most impressive when I was playing against it. So yeah. Now, one thing that I found from the very first game is how easy it was to bait this AlphaStar into going into my siege tank range. So you'll see something I do throughout this whole game is basically I go in the range of stalkers, but I have siege tanks sieged up right behind it, and the AlphaStar tries to poke the units, which is what you're supposed to do against blink stalkers, but it kept getting attacked by the siege tank, which again, you'll see throughout the game. So here I go for a push. AlphaStar has like even more stalkers than I thought, and I just decided to go for a base trade because I thought that going back is not a great idea, because he might have an observer in my main, and by the time I get to that position, AlphaStar might blink into my main, and I'll just lose the game from there on out. So I decided to just go for the base trade. Now, I go ham here, I kill the 3rd, and kind of the base trade begins. I scan, there's like no units. So now you can see one thing, which is there is only stalkers. So at this point, I realized this is probably some kind of blink timing or mass gateway style AlphaStar, because it was just warping in stalkers. If you saw at the 3rd base, it wasn't really mining gas. You can see there at the natural, there's no gas either. So it was relying heavily on the minerals. Now, I mean, the Blink Stalker micro was good by the AlphaStar. It wasn't bad by any means. It's just that at times it was kind of predictable, if that makes sense. So here I see the DT Shrine and I was like, oh, can't let that happen. So I'm empowering the gates, you know, full on base trade, you know, classic. I was here many times before, right? Now the problem that I'm starting to face is my siege tanks, or my medevacs, sorry, are very overstimmed. AKA my units were very overstimmed and my medevacs have no energy anymore. So I try to kill the Nexus here because I didn't want the AlphaStar to recall the Stalkers, because it kind of killed my whole base. So I wanted to kill the Nexus even though it had no energy, so it can't recall either. Go for the cannons here, go for the Empower. So at this point, you know, if you guys watch my stream, you guys know that I'm very familiar with these base trade situations, so I wasn't like worried. I thought I was in a decent position actually, because I had 4 tanks, I had, you know, 6-7 Marauders, 3 medevacs, some Marines, and I just wanted to get these Stalkers dead and trade, you know, basically nothing and try to kill them for free. I do another stim here, which is I'm mistaken, you know, now when I look back at it. At that point, I just wanted to stim because there was like 6 stalkers that I could pick off for free. So I was a bit worried because my bio was very orange. So I'm trying to eliminate buildings here. I have CCs in the corners, and I'm trying to find the AlphaStar's base. So I find it, and I was surprised because I was like, oh, it has another base, and it was kind of fully saturated as well. Now, the one thing that I wish I could do is actually watch replays, but again, there was no replay feature at all. So, because I wanted to see how far ahead / behind I was, and if I was ahead or behind at any points. So this is the thing that I was talking about. You'll see a lot of the jebaiting into siege tanks, and I see another Nexus here. and I realized AlphaStar has, you know, quite a bit of minerals to work with. So I'm trying to, there you go, another, you know, bait into the tanks. So I'm trying to slowly leapfrog, because that is still, you know, a large amount of stalkers that it had. And I didn't want to, you know, unsiege everything, so I wanted to make sure I have, you know, siege things slowly leaping and have at least, look at that, how many stalkers it's losing. So that's the, like, the one thing that I found about this AlphaStar that is quite abusable, because I felt like if it met siege tank bio, it didn't really know how to effectively engage, and it kept making a lot of these mistakes, so to say. So I couldn't build SCVs because I'm supply blocked. So I started scanning to make sure I don't get out of position. You know, to make sure that the stalkers don't jump on my units and just kill me straight up. Now, this is where stuff starts getting problematic. I lost the second medevac there. I lost the first one earlier, so I only have one medevac left. So I figured I'll send this bio to kill that Nexus, which, you know, looking back was a little bit of a mistake. I should have just kept my whole army together, but I thought that this is last AlphaStar's base, and I thought that's the last probe. So, you know, I go for the Nexus, and I slowly start moving the army there as well. Stalkers arrive, and boop, there goes my last medevac. Now, the good thing about this is now I could build the SCVs, so, you know, there was that. But the one thing that separates AlphaStar from humans in this situation is the decision making and how it went about the base trade. You know, it wasn't expanding, you know, in weird locations. It kind of expanded farther and farther away. So I expanded in like the 12 o'clock and then the 3 o'clock to make me like go back and forth. Here I see the observer that was by my army. I pop it real quick. And again, you know, I have no medevac, so I have to slowly leapfrog. I'm remaking the barracks, remaking the SCVs, and, you know, just trying to get to this base. So in my mind right now, AlphaStar has only this base and maybe 1 or 2 probes that it made, but that's about it. That's what I was thinking. I was just trying to be super, super safe to try and, you know, eliminate it. Now, I have 3 more games of me and 5 more games of Cyril of this. Obviously, this game is not done yet. But if you guys want me to go through them as well, please let me know. Whether right now in on Twitch or on YouTube. Because I would be more than happy to do so if you boys are enjoying this kind of content. So, right now, oh, he gives me Sentry here for free, which was very nice. So now I scan the bottom right and I see another base. But it's like already fully saturated, you know? So it sent also a prism with a couple of units in my main base, which was really smart. I don't know, but it might have scouted with Observer that I'm mining there, and it sent only a couple of units, which I found really interesting and obviously a good move. So here, look how many probes. So I was like, this has to be all that AlphaStar has. So I stim in, and I'm like trying to kill the probes so that the probes can't run away and it can't remake another base. So it blinks on top of my army, which makes me think that that is the last base, because now is the first time when AlphaStar is committing to defending this. You know, it's blinking in, it's fighting, and so on and so forth. Here it gets blasted a little bit as well. And, you know, this is... I thought that's it, right? I kill the base, nothing happens. So I scan, and look at that base. It has gateways and cybercore. So I was like, what? Like, at this point I was very confused how it has that much money. And this is another problem. Because I chose this path, I actually don't have a scan, so I can't go up the ramp. I mean, I could, but I'm gonna lose like half of the units before I get up the ramp to give vision. So I started remaking Marines here. And I'm waiting for the main base command center to land so I can scan. So I scan, I see 4 gateways, and it's obviously fully mining. I siege up, and I see no units. I'm trying to reposition, and then AlphaStar goes for it, and just kind of walks over my army. So at this point, you know, people clapping. So at that point, you know, I just leave the game. Now, during the game, I was very confused how the AlphaStar has that much money to rebuild. And after this, not maybe straight after this game, but I played against this specific AlphaStar again, which you guys will see, and you will kind of connect the dots, and you guys will see the similarities. But basically, this specific AlphaStar agent was an agent that was opening Blink, fast expanding to Blink, and that was just going for base trades. That was his playstyle, and which I found very funny and very interesting. So the whole playstyle of that AlphaStar is massing stalkers and base trading. And so if you guys saw, it had 1 gas on the 3rd, 1 gas on the natural, no gases on the 4th, and no gases on any of the bases after. So the reason it had that many bases is because AlphaStar was on 1 forge, no immortals, no colossus. It didn't really spend any money on upgrades. It was just making stalkers. And I think that the only reason, what makes sense to me when I look at it back now, the only reason why it had that many bases is because the 4th base was probably much earlier than I thought. The 4th base was probably already mining when I was pushing the 3rd. And that allowed AlphaStar to basically make a lot of bases because it probably stacked a lot of minerals. And from what they told me after, one of the AlphaStars, which is this one, loves to make a lot of stalkers, and it just doesn't stop making stalkers. It maxes out on stalkers, and that's what it does. It waits for you to move out and then goes for the base trade. And I mean, that's what it had a lot of success with on the ladder. But this is not the one that reached 6.3k, but it was still a lot of fun to play against it, and to kind of go through it. For you guys on YouTube, again, if you want to see more of this kind of content, please leave a comment down below or what you thought about this game. I'm going to be talking more about AlphaStar in general. Let's check another one, shall we? And we're back with game number 3, Senor Cutie versus AlphaStar. Now, the one thing I was really curious about, and I actually talked with DeepMind guys about this, you know, they asked me, do you plan to use any specific strategies or whatever? And I said, you know, I want to try mech against AlphaStar. Against Protoss AlphaStar. And they asked me why. And I said, well, how many times did it play against mech as a Protoss? And they kind of gave me a little cheeky smile, and they said once. And I was like, well, there it is. That's why. I'ma mess it up. And I'ma mess it up real good. So yeah, I decided to do mech. And this is the game, boys. This is the game. And actually, so when you queue up to play against AlphaStar at BlizzCon, it just gives you the random map. And as you can see, these maps are from the previous map pool, because in order for AlphaStar to learn the new maps, they have to like let it retrain basically from the beginning, from what I understood. So yeah, same shirt, new day. No, come on. That cannot become a meme on my channel, okay? This is, listen, people on YouTube, if you're watching this like 3rd day in a row, this is the same day for us on Twitch, okay? This is the same day. I'm not a dirty mother trucker, okay? I change my t-shirts twice a day, thank you very much. It's just... Okay, man, give up. So anyway, AlphaStar scouting, it sees the expand. I managed to nab its gas. So I steal the gas. And I think I went for, yeah, I went for the bunker again. So I stole the gas. AlphaStar pulled a couple of probes, disposed of the gas. And yeah, I'm kind of doing the same thing in game number 1 because I felt like, I felt that it worked pretty well in game 1. So I was like, why not do it again? He's smelling through my phone. All right, dude. Look, I'm still drinking the same coffee, okay? From now on, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna bring in newspaper with the date on them, and every time I do this, I'm gonna point. It's the same newspaper. Oh, by the way, I didn't show you this, guys. I got this. This is my boy. Huh? Huh? So they gave us these goodie bags at BlizzCon, and it had, you know, the grunt or the footman statue, and I was like, if they gave me the footman statue, I'm gonna trade with someone. Alliance, Omega Lul. Yeah, right. I'm not an ally scrub. So anyway, so this time, interesting thing. So again, I didn't know, by the way, which AlphaStar I'm playing each game. But this game, this is the same AlphaStar that you guys saw me play in the first game. Okay, this is the same one, the Mass Blink Stalker boy. This is the same one, but again, I didn't know that. The one thing that it did that's very interesting, it instead of defending with all the units like the first game, it actually sent the Adept across the map and tried to disrupt the mining. You can see right there, which I found, you know, pretty interesting. So here's the AlphaStar. It's poking the bunker. Pretty smart. It picked off my SCV. And so I felt like this game, it dealt with the bunker way better. It picked off the SCV. It kind of poked at the bunker. With the stalkers, so I thought it did, you know, much better reaction, better defense, very nice. So we see Blink going up. So I was like, you know, kind of knowing what I'm dealing with right now. You know, I'm dealing with Blink stalkers, and you know, everything was going pretty well. Let me see if there's any. Just a lot of background noise. But yeah, you can see here again, I'm much more comfortable with my clicks. I'm making the bunker on time this time, unlike game number 1. I'm going for the Widowmine drop and Cloak Banshee behind this, because it also didn't deal with the Cloak Banshee too well with his build. So I was like, you know, why not do it again? It's microing the probes pretty well, you know, trying to not lose anything, but the stalkers are nowhere to be found. And now, the Widowmine drop. Cutie going in. Uh-oh. Look at this. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Huh? There you go. You get the crowd reaction as well a little bit. Dude, this... Hey, production quality of this stream is just insane. Like, I should work in Hollywood. Like, holy shit. Insane. Man, my in-game sounds so low. So, what? Okay, so right now, I'm just macroing up. You know, I was pretty satisfied with the amount of probes that I've killed. I think I go for another cheeky... Oh! Oh, the crowd! Let's hear the crowd!
Oh, no!
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So at this point, I was feeling pretty good, right? I killed a lot of probes. With the Widowmines, the third base. Look at that, Cloak Banshee coming in. I mean, this noob is just falling apart. I mean, I'm devolving it to basic AlphaStar at this point. Oh! But he catches my Banshee Mother Trucker. So I got my third. You know, I'm playing it pretty safe, right? Because I realized maybe because I don't know how many different agents there were at the time, and I didn't know what kind of strategy each of them use. But I did know that this one has a lot of stalkers, so I was like, maybe this is the same one, which, by the way, it was. So I'm just like trying to play it safe, getting a bunker, I'm getting a missile turret in case there's DTs, double armory, just kind of like powering up. And just going into that beautiful mechanical video gameplay. Amazing. So I think I actually keep making Banshees. Oh yeah, I think I make like another 1 or 2 Banshees. But now I had 2 Banshees that I could harass with. Now, you guys know that I played quite a few games against Elite and Insane, Cheater 3 Insane AIs, right? And I always found ways to abuse the AI. And I do think that obviously AlphaStar is way better, you know, than those AIs or those computers. But I feel that unless it's learning from game to game, there is always ways to abuse AlphaStar, whether it's with a specific strategy or specific moves. Because right now, it's pushing out with all the stalkers, and the bench is going again. And I felt like, I mean, you'll see, it's just not dealing with benches too well. I see the Dark Shrine, but I already have the missile turrets. And I mean, look how many probes I'm picking up. So here, I'm like, I'm so far ahead, I'm not losing to this shit. So I'm just making a buttload of missile turrets. Ain't nobody got time for that. I see 2 observers right there, my Banshees. I don't care. I just beat them, you know, I just win. So yeah, I'm just powering up like a madman still. Because I felt I was in a pretty good position. And initially, I actually wanted to go into battle cruisers. Because I was curious how it would deal with that. But I decided against it. Well, I kind of decided for it, but you guys will see. So here I'm getting all my upgrades, getting the 1-1. I'm gonna get +2/+2 soon. And this is the moment where I'm like, what? This is the moment where I'm like, how? How's this possible? So, I have never had a game of StarCraft II where, against a human, where I killed that many probes and he still has a 4th base. Like, I was like, how does it how? Just from where? And this is the same point like game number 1 where I wish I had a replay to see when exactly did it make nexus and how did it exactly recover from all the damage that I've done. Because, you know, again, I don't see how many units it has, right? I don't know if it has 30 stalkers or 20 or 10. I just see a 4th base and a 3rd and a natural, by the way. You can see only 2 gases. Oversaturating? It wasn't. It's not oversaturating. That AlphaStar stopped doing that a long time ago. It's not doing that. So, yeah, I was very confused because this shouldn't happen. But I think another reason because of that is this AI specifically plays like that. I think that's the reason. Again, this is the AI that makes Blink Stalkers, but doesn't really make a lot of upgrades. It doesn't really make a lot of tech units. You can see it has 1 forge, but that's it, right? You can see it's not dealing with benches very well. So, yeah, and because I played against it, you know, these are my like first times playing against AlphaStar. I was a little confused, and also I wasn't really sure, like, can I actually push? Like, because when you play StarCraft 2 at a high level, most of your decisions that you make, unless you're in a base trade situation where you have to think on your own, you're usually making decisions based on your muscle memory and what you've experienced in the past, okay? Like what you've experienced in your past games, and you know, in the past games, if you've killed 20 probes, that's where your brain pulls information from of how many units your opponent can have, where should they be in the game at that point, yada yada, right? But because I was never in this kind of situation, because nobody does 4 bases with 2 gases, I wasn't sure if I can actually push and kill, or if I need to play defensive, or what the hell. But after considering it for a little bit, you can see me still play very defensive, especially because it base traded last time, right? And I realized at this point it's the same AI because it's playing exactly the same. You can see it's trying to base trade. Like it's trying to get in there and do something. So I'm trying to not get into that situation again, and I'm trying to force it to fight my army, basically. So yeah. So here I decided to go for a push because I had some siege tanks left over. I had like 3-4 siege tanks left over. I see AlphaStar here. It blinks in, pops a Hellion. Not a big deal. And now, I don't know if this was a mistake or not, but I went through the left side because it would give me better push potential. But what that also gave is space for AlphaStar to go for the base trade, to go through the right side or through the middle and counterattack. So I don't know if that was a mistake or not. Here is me transitioning to battlecruisers, or, you know, trying to making more starports. But yeah, this is like a very good position, and it also has zealots, by the way, now, charge lots. So maybe the AlphaStars, like this specific AlphaStar, maybe its plan is to just mass Blinkstalkers, base trade if you're on lower supply, like let's say Terran pushes off 2 base. It just base trades and just expands everywhere. But then if it reaches late game and it's spending all its gas, maybe it just switches to mass charge lot. I don't know. But it simply doesn't have the gas to tech to anything else, right? So here it goes for this base trade. And if you look at the map, you will see how many units it has. Like, that's a lot of units, right? Like, for the amount of damage I've done, that's a lot of units. And again, it's one of those things, because I haven't experienced this kind of play before, I didn't know where I am in the game. At this point, I was like, I knew it has a Dark Shrine. So I was like, is it trying to base trade and then go DTs and win that way? And at some points, it warped some DTs to defend, but I had scans for them, luckily. So here it just keeps warping units, and it just kind of powers through my siege tanks and gets into my main base. So I was like, you know, initially I felt good about this because I was like, well, I have Planetary, I have a bunch of tanks. But right now I'm like, uh-oh. Am I actually gonna lose this? I was actually getting worried that, you know, this might be it, you know? Jesus Christ. Scared the shit out of me. That's like a... It's like a... I don't know. It's not a firecracker. It's like the big firecracker. You know, one of the thick ones. I don't know why anyone has it right now, because it's 2 months till New Year's, but there it is. It scared the shit out of me. Football game? No, it's 11 in the evening. There's no football game now. Top of skew there, yeah. That's right. Gunshot? No, it's not gunshot. We don't have that in Serbia. Or at least we don't have that in my city. We have gunshots like every 3 months, and it's usually like a drug dealer that got killed because it went into the wrong territory kind of thing. But yeah. You don't have that in Serbia? Nice meme. Dude, go look at average shootings in Serbia a year compared to other countries. Mate. But yeah, the base trade continues. So I realize I realize we're entering the same situation as game number 1. Like, AlphaStar is doing the exactly same shit, okay? Yeah, we probably have, like, yearly gunshot, like, as daily in some of the countries. So anyway, we're entering a stage where it's like, it's doing the same thing again, and I'm realizing it, right? So I'm trying to push in faster. Like, I'm trying to eliminate stuff faster. I'm trying to make a missile turret for the DTs. I'm fully sieged up here, so I'm like, no more base trades. But if you look now, game 1 becomes much clearer, okay? Much clearer, because look at this. Every base that it expands to, it also builds 3 gateways. Do you guys see that? Every base it expands to has 3 gateways. So it doesn't matter which one you go to, it always has probes and units warping in. Okay? So, I'm like, okay, you mother trucker. Okay. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Ixro says, I'm surprised Serbians have internet and running water. I'm surprised that ape like you knows how to type on a computer. Proud of you. Good job. Keep it up. But yeah, you know, I knew the base trade's happening, so now I'm trying to slowly put units at each base so that it doesn't start rebuilding over and over and over, because I'm only in like 1.5 base. And even though like I felt pretty confident that I'm gonna you know, win, I was still kind of iffy. Again, not familiar territory, because this is not your usual base trade. So I was just kind of trying to play safe, but the amount of siege things I've had, and I had 2 as well upgrade, so I knew he only has Stalker, so I should win, but I'm like, I just played safe, right? So I slowly go across the map, eliminating base by base, and the top side I had units patrolling or sitting at the bases just to make sure the AlphaStar doesn't rebuild there. So I go the safest possible routes, you know, I don't go through the middle because that's a bad move. I go through like the chokes and like cliffs where I can siege up my tanks and stuff like that. So yeah, here I go. The AlphaStar's trying to run away. It's kind of trying to defend, but then it sees how many units there are and just kind of bails. Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. The crowd goes wild. Wow. Wow. It's a lot of damage. But yeah, I managed to kill all of his probes. And at this point, I mean, there's nowhere else that the bases can be, right? I can see the top side, I see the right side. I'm on the bottom side, so these are like the only 2 bases that are left alive. Oh yeah, and it, like, I don't know when it snuck in the probe in the natural, but there it is. It's remaking the natural as well. So at this point, I was just like, frigid, dude. Soon I unsiege everything and I just go for it. I was like, I'm done. Come on. By the way, I want to apologize for the earlier comment. If there's actual apes in the chat, I didn't want to compare you to the Ixros guy. That was unfair for me. But yeah, here I just go for the check this move, check this move. Ready? The cutie sandwich. Look at this. Boom, big, not said big. Look at this. Siege up. Look at this. Where are you going? Huh? Where are you going? Huh? Look at these stalkers, dude. Where are you going, you little chunky monkey? Hell yeah, boy. That's right. And at this point, I mean, when you see AlphaStar trying to defend it this hard, then you know that this is like the last place it's defending. It's losing stalkers. Cutie pushing in for that W, dominating The machine dropping the mule. Get out of my game, you trash can. I don't want to see your face in here anymore. You're done. You got absolutely destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. That's me right there. The winner. Look at him. That's me. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Amazing. Amazing. Can we have some claps, please? That was beautiful. Did you record AlphaStar destroying Cyril? I got those too, baby. Now, what did I want to say? So, honestly, no joke. The best games, in my opinion, that I've had, or the most interesting ones, were not recorded. I mean, Ajax was, again, very nice to record these for me and help me out. I really wish you guys could see the Terran vs. Zerg one. It was really funny, okay? It was really, really funny. So, what happened is, I'll give you a little bit of that game before we head to the next one. So, what happened in that game, the game went on for 30 minutes. And I got an automated message. This game has been going on for too long. Please leave the game. Other players might want to play against AlphaStar. And I was like, wow, this, it's BMing me, just, memeing. So 7-8 minutes later, I beat AlphaStar, and as I'm destroying it, I type something like, please leave, other AlphaStars are waiting to play against me. And I just hear people like in the background, because there were so many people watching that game because it was such a long game, and everyone just like starts laughing, and it was a great moment. Listen, I always said, when you laugh at your own jokes, those are the best jokes, okay? Nobody else needs to laugh. Other people laughing is a bonus. But I made myself laugh and other people laughed, so it was a double laugh, the double bonus. But it was so funny. But yeah, and apparently after 30 minutes he just types that so that like people don't stay there all day. But yeah, again, I ended up playing 7-3 versus AlphaStar. I lost 2 games against Terran. I lost 1 game against Protoss, the first one we watched. I won the most game against Protoss, and I played the least games against Zerg. So there it is. I'm going to give you a little bit of my personal opinion, and then we're going to jump into the Cyril ones. Okay. So I really appreciate, again, what guys from DeepMind did. Again, I met with their whole team, and they were super cool. They said they watched my stream every time I reviewed the replays or watched AlphaStar. They watched it, they enjoyed it. I asked them so many questions regarding AlphaStar, regarding DeepMind, and they were all very nice to answer and to try help in any way possible. They tried to think about solutions, how I could save replays, but there just wasn't none, because again, the computer that I was playing was literally a different version of StarCraft that it doesn't exist. So you actually cannot physically put those replays to be able to watch them on my computer now. But yeah, I was always saying whenever I was reviewing or checking AlphaStar replays in the past, I would love to play against AlphaStar. I thought it would be really, really cool. I think not a lot of people had that opportunity and just experience to play against them. So, me being able to play 10 games against AlphaStar was really cool. I really wish I could have played even more games, and I really wish I could have saved replays and tested different builds, because I would love to see all the possible things that AlphaStar does and why it does them, and the builds. I'm very intrigued by this kind of mass stalker base trade style. I'm also very interested and intrigued how far up the ladder they would go, because again, they didn't play hundreds of games. They played between 30 and 50 games, and they all got to Grandmaster level, but we don't know how far they would go. Now, I want to say one thing. So I mentioned when I was talking about my impressions regarding BlizzCon that some people have said that AlphaStar is insane. Some people have said that AlphaStar was meh, pretty shit. Both of those kinds of people are wrong. I think that AlphaStar, first of all, has multiple agents per race, and they all play very different depending what race and what agent you play against. So I don't think AlphaStar should be judged based on one agent, right? Apparently there's an agent from Protoss that I haven't played that plays very reactively and scouts a lot and is very defensive. I personally haven't played against that one. I wish I did. And, you know, there's the all-in ones, the proxy ones, this, that. And they all have their own different thing. Now, in the past, AlphaStar has had issues regarding, you know, APM limitations and human-like reactions, and I think they have fixed that. I don't think AlphaStar has inhuman reactions anymore. I think it has weird and odd decisions at times, but from all those games that I've played, I haven't played a single one where I was like, oh, human could not pull that off. I didn't get that even once. And if I played against AlphaStar on the ladder and then 9 other humans, I don't personally think I would be able to recognize AlphaStar. And even if I did notice something was weird, I wouldn't be like, aha, that's AlphaStar. I would be like, oh, that guy plays a bit weird. Like, some of these decisions are a bit weird. That's about it. I think that Blizzcon micro was really good, but I don't think it was inhuman. I've seen better Blizzcon micro, but it was still very, very good. I think that I am actually still probably the most intrigued by the Zerg AlphaStar, and because this is the game that I told you guys about that I don't have. Basically, when I played first game against it, I killed about 16 drones with the first Liberator Hellion harassment. And as I was sending reinforcements, because I killed a lot of drones, so I wanted to keep up the pressure, I sent another 6 Hellions to the third, and not only was the third fully saturated already, so like 70 plus drones already after I killed like 15-20, but it actually had 4th base and it was sending drones to the 4th base. And out of all my years in StarCraft II, I have never seen anyone have that solid of an economy after losing that many drones. And yes, I know, like, I've played against Koreans, I've played against Errol, played against Raynor. I've never seen Zerg manage their drone to unit larva ratio that well and macro as many units, as many drones as it did. So I thought that was really impressive, and again, this is one of those things that I wish I have replays so we can all check it out, but I don't. But there are replays from their ladder sessions that DeepMind has released and that I can also go through on my stream. I can find some, you know, games against grandmasters and master players, and we can check it out together. But regarding the BlizzCon matches and BlizzCon games, these are the ones that I have that I've played, and I got 5 versus 0. So if you want me to check those out, let me know in the comments below. For you guys on YouTube, I hope you guys enjoyed these AlphaStar videos. You know, I'm very happy that I got the idea there to record these because I think they're really fun, and this is probably the last time we're gonna see AlphaStar play. So these are literally the last AlphaStar games you're going to be seeing. So I think that's pretty cool, and I'm very grateful to the DeepMind team that I actually managed to play, you know, and they allowed me to play as many games as I did. For you guys on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you would like to see the rest of the games or what kind of content you would like to see next. For you guys, for you potatoes on Twitch, we're going to keep going or what?